Hello everyone, this is Alia. Welcome to my channel. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 points that could be truth or myth about women in Islam. So I believe that the fifth point is the most important one of them because it's the one that makes the picture even clearer. So if you are interested in the topic, then please keep on watching. Okay. So the first point talks about equality, and it states that women in Islam don't have equal rights as men. Is this truth or myth? Of course, it's a myth. Why do I say so? Because I see women in Islam, they have the right to study, to work, to have financial freedom, to have political participation, to have higher positions, to have even equal salaries as men. Where do I get this from? Well, first of all, you can ask me, Alia, but you're just saying things. What is the information is based on? And I tell you, yes, you're right. My information is based on two things. First, on what I see with myself. So I've studied until even doing my master's in pharmacy. And then I worked and I'm still working, and I'm living now independently from my family. And it's not only me, it's me and many other people in my country, and which is Egypt, of course. And also I see in Egypt women who are participating in politics, who are ministers, and I also see women who are CEOs and managers. And I have equality. I have seen equality in salaries and in the independent women and all that. And then you might say, well, but this is the 21st century and things change. I tell you, yeah, right. But also there is a very good example from the beginning of the Islam, which is Khadijah. Khadijah, if you know, is the wife of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. So Khadijah was a very, very successful businesswoman. So she was a businesswoman, she was successful, she has financial freedom, she could control her money, she was trading, she was very rich woman and very smart woman and very, very strong woman, an independent woman. So this is a very good proof that from the beginnings of Islam, it gave the woman the right to have her own financial freedom, independence, participation in politics and everything. Now, point number two. Point number two is about housework. So it states that cooking and cleaning and housework is the function of the woman in Islam. Is this truth or myth? Again, this is a myth. Why do I say so? First of all, because there is nothing in the Islam, in the text of the Quran or Hadith or anything, which mention that the woman's job is to clean and cook in Islam. And even more, there was a story, the wife of the Prophet Muhammad was asked about what he does, what he used to do at home. And she said that he used to do cleanings and even stitching his clothes and things of housework. And this is also another thing that clears up the idea that cleaning and cooking and housework is not only for women in Islam. Okay, point number three is about forced or arranged marriages. And it states that women have no choice and no opinion in marrying the men that their parents choose, which is also a myth. And why? This is because, again, I see it in my surroundings, in my environment, that this is not the truth. And also, there was a story of a woman who came to the Prophet complaining that her father married her to a man without her permission. And then the Prophet responded and he said, well, you are free to cancel this marriage if this is what you wish. So, of course, his words mean that this is even forbidden in Islam to force a woman to marry someone whom she doesn't want to marry. And then you might say, well, but what happens in the Arab world is different from that. And many parents and many people force women of their families to marry men that they don't want to. And I say, yes, it's true. This happens, but that doesn't mean that it is from the Islam. This is the culture. And our problem as human is that we confuses a lot the culture with the religion. So now it's clear, I hope, that the religion does not mention that. This is just the culture. And you can measure this on everything else. There's a very big difference between culture and religion. Okay? Well, point number 4, which is the multiple marriages. So the men in Islam have to marry a lot of women. Well, first of all, I would like to clarify something here. Islam does not state that, hey, every Muslim man has to marry more than one woman or 4 women, because actually the maximum is 4, and I'm going to explain how. So, no, Islam doesn't say that. Islam says it is allowed for the man to marry until 4 women, but under certain conditions. So the thing is not just like that. Any man decides, I love this woman and I want something from this, and this one is, for example, rich, so I'm going to marry this and that and that. No, it's not like that. It happens only under certain conditions. And again, you tell me, but this is not what happens in the Arab world. And I tell you, yes, but this is culture. And it's not because people do it that means it's correct or it's what the Islam really states. One of the biggest conditions that have to be applied for this marriage to be correct is that the woman, the wife, has to agree and has to be willingly happy for the other marriage. If she doesn't know, or if she doesn't agree, or if she feels a little bit sad about it, then this marriage should not be correct according to the Islamic teachings. What people do is other things, because I'm not claiming that Muslims are angels and they are the best of the world. No. This is not what I'm saying. We are all people, we are all human, and we all make mistakes. But what the religion says is one thing, and what the people do is a totally different thing. Okay? Number 5, and the most important point, is about women respect and importance. And it states that women are not respected in Islam, and they are treated as if they are nothing, as if they are nobody. Well, is this truth or myth? Again, this is a myth. And why? Is because of lots of verses in the Quran and in the Hadith. The Hadith is the speech of the Prophet Muhammad, and which states how the women is important in the Islam. Of course, I just picked some. There are many more than the ones that I'm going to mention. But from my point of view, these ones, I hope they would clarify the picture. So there is a verse in the Quran which means, I just say the meaning of the verse. If you want to check for yourself the verses, I'm going to leave in the description below the verse, its number, and every detail about it so that you can check it up after this video. And of course, I encourage you to do that and not just take my word for it, because I am always saying, don't take words. I always say this to myself even. Don't just take the words of people about something and believe it. Maybe I'm not accurate, you know, so maybe the information that I tell you is not even true. So the best thing is always to check for yourself. So I'm going to leave in the description box below the details about the verses, the references, and everything. Okay? So, for example, one of the verses says that if divorce happened and the man wanted to get back to the woman, then he has to get back to her with kindness and treat her with kindness. And then if he decide to leave her or to divorce, then he has also to leave with kindness and not just get back to her to take revenge or to hurt her. And if he does so, then he would be someone who would be unjust for himself. There is another one that says, "O believers, you are not allowed to inherit women against their will." So this is also something that clarifies how woman is important in Islam. And there is another one that also when God was speaking to men and he said, "Give women their bounties." The bounties are like an amount of money that the man has to give to the woman in order to before marriage, you know, like a gift or a present before marriage. So this is something like a responsibility or a duty of the man to the woman. Another thing that is very also important to mention here is that women not only are allowed to work, but also the responsibility of providing the shelter, the food, and the clothes is the responsibility of the man. So here I see that how the Islam appreciates the woman is that she can work and she can have her own money for herself, for her pleasure, and she can spend it wherever she wants. While the man, when he works, he has no choice to work or not to work. She can choose to work or not to work, but he cannot choose because he is responsible for spending this money on his house, on providing the food, on providing the clothes for his family. So this is also something that I see how the Islam appreciates women. And also from the Hadith, the speeches of the Prophet, in his farewell speech, he said, "Be good to women and recommend that generation after generation." Another Hadith that says, "The most believers are those with the best manners, and the best of you are those who are best to their women." So the idea of linking the best believers and the best manners are those are the best who treat best their women. This, I think, shows how important the woman is in Islam. And then another hadith that says, "Treat women with kindness," or live with them with kindness. And another one, when the Prophet Muhammad was asked from one of his companions, "Who is the best companion for me?" Or the number one companion for me, and then the Prophet responded, "Your mother." And then he said, "Then who?" He said, "Your mother." And the other guy said, "Then who?" He said, "Your mother," for the third time. And then the guy said, "And then who?" He said, "Your father." So as you can see, he mentioned 3 times the mother, and then finally on the 4th time he said the father. So this also shows how important mothers or women are in Islam. And the last hadith that I have here is the one that is very popular, that says, "Heaven is underneath the feet of mothers." Also, this shows how Islam appreciates the woman and the mothers. So these, of course, are not everything, but for the sake of the video, and I don't want it to be so long, this is what I could pile up for you for this video. If you want more details about any of the points that I have mentioned, or even you want to add more points or leave your opinion and discuss with me this topic, I would be more than happy to answer your comments. So leave me your comments below. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments or anything, please leave them again below. And I will make sure to do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you so much. I hope that you liked the video and it was of any value for you. And if so, then please let me know. If you knew already these things, you didn't know where you're tuning from, it's always interesting to know these things. Thank you and see you next video. Bye bye.